The human ship moved slowly through the dark edge of space. This part of the galaxy was quiet, broken, and dangerous. Most ships avoided it. There were no laws here. No help. Only old stations, lost ships, and forgotten people. The human was alone. He was not a soldier. He was not a hero. He was just a traveler moving between systems. Then his sensors caught something unusual. A weak signal. Very weak. Almost gone. He slowed his ship. Most captains would ignore it. Signals like this were often traps. Pirates used them to pull kind people into ambushes. Others were just wrecks with no survivors left. The human looked at the screen for a long moment. Then he sighed and changed course. The damaged ship was small and badly broken. Its hull was burned. Power was failing. Air was leaking into space. It had clearly been attacked. The human docked carefully. His ship connected with a loud metal sound. Inside the alien ship, the lights flickered. Smoke filled the air. The floor was covered with broken tools and dark stains. He moved slowly, holding a small light. "Hello?" he said softly. No answer. He followed the weak signal deeper into the ship. Then he saw her. An elder alien woman lay against the wall. Her skin was pale. One of her arms was badly injured. Her breathing was slow and painful. Around her were two alien guards, both dead. Her eyes opened when she saw the human. Fear filled them. She tried to move, but her body failed her. The human stopped several steps away. "It's okay," he said calmly. "I won't hurt you." She did not understand his words. But she understood his tone. Slowly he knelt down. He checked the air levels. Too low. He opened his own oxygen pack and placed it near her face. She gasped as fresh air reached her lungs. Her eyes widened in shock. No one had helped her before. The human opened his medical kit. Her injury was not like a human's, but pain was pain. Blood was blood. He cleaned the wound carefully. He used basic medicine. It was not perfect, but it slowed the bleeding. The alien woman watched him closely. He could have taken her valuables. He could have left. But he stayed. Hours passed. The ship shook once as something passed outside. Maybe pirates. Maybe nothing. The human stood between the alien woman and the door. He held a small tool, ready to defend her if needed. Nothing came. The alien woman tried to speak. Her voice was weak and rough. The words were strange. Old. Heavy with meaning. The human did not understand her language. But he listened anyway. She spoke of family. Of duty. Of a life nearly ended. When she grew too tired, he gave her water. He adjusted the oxygen. He stayed awake while she slept. No one had done this for her in many years. Finally, her eyes opened again. She looked at him deeply now. Not with fear, but with something else. Respect. She raised her uninjured hand and touched her chest. Then she pointed to him. She spoke one word slowly. A word from an ancient alien tradition. A word that meant life debt. The human smiled gently, not understanding. "You're going to be okay," he said. "Help is coming." He sent an emergency signal using his ship's systems. Strong. Clear. Impossible to ignore. Then he waited. Rescue ships arrived many hours later. They were not normal ships. They were powerful. Advanced. Armed. Alien soldiers flooded the broken ship. The humans stepped back, hands open, calm. When they saw the injured alien woman, the soldiers froze. Their eyes went wide. They bowed their heads. She was not just any traveler. She was an elder matriarch. One of the most respected leaders of her people. The human did not know this. He only knew she needed help. As the matriarch was carried away, she turned her head to look at him one last time. Their eyes met. She remembered his kindness. His patience. His courage. She remembered the human who stopped when others would not. Days later, the human ship landed on a bright alien world. The sky was full of strange colors. Towers rose into the clouds. Ships filled the air. As soon as he stepped outside, alien guards surrounded him. Weapons lowered. Knees bent. They bowed. The human stood frozen in shock. He had no idea why an entire world was welcoming him like royalty. And far above, the elder matriarch smiled. The debt was not forgotten. The human did not understand what was happening. Moments ago, he had stepped onto an alien world only to refuel and rest. Now he stood in the center of a wide landing platform while dozens of alien guards bowed before him. Their armor was dark and clean. Their weapons were powerful, but lowered. None of them showed fear. They showed respect. The human raised his hands slowly. "There must be a mistake," he said. "I'm just passing through." The guards did not move. A deep sound echoed across the platform. A large door opened at the far end. Bright light poured out. Then she appeared. The elder alien woman from the broken ship. She was no longer weak or injured. Her body was wrapped in fine ceremonial cloth. Symbols of leadership covered her chest and shoulders. Her eyes were sharp, ancient, and full of memory. The guard stepped aside as she walked forward. The human's heart slowed. He recognized her immediately. "You're alive," he said softly. The matriarch stopped a short distance from him. She placed one hand over her chest. Her voice was calm but strong. "You saved my life, human." The translator devices around them activated. For the first time, the human fully understood her words. The crowd around them went silent. She turned slightly, facing the gathered elders and guards. "This human found me where death waited," she said. "He stayed when others would flee. He gave air when mine was gone. He stood between me and danger." She looked back at him. "He asked for nothing?" A quiet sound passed through the crowd. Shock. Disbelief. The human shifted uncomfortably. "I just helped," he said. "Anyone would have." The matriarch's eyes narrowed slightly. "No," she replied. "Not anyone." She raised her hand. Two attendants stepped forward, carrying a long metal staff covered in glowing symbols. "This staff records a life debt," she said. "An ancient law older than our stars." The human did not like the sound of that. "Wait," he said. "I don't need a reward." The matriarch smiled, but there was sadness in it. "This is not a reward," she said. "It is balance." She pressed her hand to the staff. The symbols changed color. "I owe you my life," she continued. "In our culture, a life debt must be repaid in full. If it is not, dishonor follows us beyond death." The elders nodded. The human swallowed. "I didn't know," he said. "I wasn't trying to bind you." The matriarch stepped closer. "That is why the debt is so great," she said quietly. The human was escorted into the city. It was massive and alive. Tall buildings curved toward the sky. Flying vehicles moved smoothly between towers. Aliens of many shapes and colors watched him pass. Some stared with curiosity. Others with awe. He felt very small. Inside the central hall, the matriarch sat upon a high seat. Elders formed a wide circle around her. The human stood alone in the center. "This feels like a trial," he muttered. The matriarch heard him. "It is not a trial," she said. "It is recognition." She leaned forward. "Human," she said. "You do not understand the power of what you did." She spoke of war. Of betrayal. Of how trust had faded between species. She spoke of how kindness had become rare in the galaxy. "Then you came," she said. "A single human who stopped." The elders began to speak among themselves. Some were uneasy. "Humans are unpredictable," one elder said. "Humans are weak," another said. The matriarch's voice cut through them. "This human stood alone against death," she said. "He showed strength without cruelty." Silence returned. The human felt the weight of the room pressing down on him. What happens now? He asked. The matriarch stood. No, she said. I fulfill the debt. The doors behind her opened. 3 figures stepped into the light. They were tall, confident, clearly related to the matriarch. Her daughters. The human's eyes widened slightly. The matriarch's voice echoed through the hall. You saved my life, human, she said clearly. Now choose one of my daughters as your mate. The room exploded into whispers. The human froze. What? He said. He looked at the daughters. Then back at the matriarch. I didn't come here for this, he said slowly. I don't want to take something I don't understand. One of the daughters stepped forward. She looked directly at him. Then learn, she said. The matriarch watched closely. For the first time in many years, she felt something she had not expected. Hope. The hall was silent. The human stood still, trying to understand what he had just heard. His mind felt slow, like it was trapped between 2 thoughts. He had crossed stars to travel freely, yet now the eyes of an entire alien world were fixed on him. The matriarch remained calm. Her daughters stood in a line behind her. Each was different, yet clearly part of the same bloodline. Strong posture. Sharp eyes. Quiet confidence. The human took a careful breath. I did not save you to gain anything, he said. I don't want power. I don't want status. The elders watched closely. The matriarch nodded once. That is why you were chosen by fate, she replied. The human shook his head slowly. I cannot choose a life without understanding it. The daughters exchanged glances. Then one of them stepped forward. She was the middle daughter. Not the tallest. Not the smallest. But the one who moved with purpose. Her skin reflected soft light. Her eyes were calm, but curious. She did not look at him as a prize, or a threat, but as a question. She stopped only a few steps away. My name is Selira, she said clearly. You are afraid. The human blinked. I'm surprised. She tilted her head slightly. Surprise is fear with no time to prepare. Some of the elders murmured. Selira turned to them. He is honest, she said. That matters. Then she looked back at the human. You saved our mother when you had no reason to, she continued. You did not know who she was. You did not know what she could give you. I only knew she was hurt, the human replied. Selira studied him closely. That answer alone would make many of our warriors fail our trials. The matriarch raised her hand. Selira, she said gently. Selira bowed her head for a moment, then spoke again. In our culture, she explained, bonding is not control. It is trust. A shared future. The human looked around the hall. And if I say no? A ripple passed through the elders. The matriarch answered. Then the debt remains unpaid. That would shame my house. The human frowned. So I must accept? Selira answered instead. You must choose freely. Or there is no honor. That surprised the elders. The matriarch looked at her daughter for a long moment, then nodded once. She speaks truth. The human felt the weight of the moment pressing harder. I don't even belong in your world, he said quietly. I don't know your ways. I don't know your people. Selira smiled faintly. Neither did we understand humans, until now. She took one small step closer. You stand alone, she said. Yet you do not hide. You do not demand. You do not fear our strength. The human looked at her hands. They were strong but steady. I fear hurting someone by mistake, he admitted. That made Selira pause. Then she nodded slowly. That fear, she said, is rare. The eldest daughter shifted uncomfortably. This is dangerous, she said. The galaxy watches us. Selira turned. The galaxy already watches humans, she replied. They simply do not understand them. The youngest daughter spoke softly. Mother, what if he leaves? The matriarch closed her eyes for a moment. Then we will remember, she said. And the debt will follow our bloodline forever. The human heard the sadness in her voice. He looked back at Celira. What happens if I stay? He asked. Celira's eyes softened. Then you learn. Slowly. Safely. With choice. A loud sound echoed through the hall. An alert. Guards turned their heads. Screens lit up along the walls. A foreign fleet had entered the system. Uninvited. Hostile. The elders began to speak in urgent voices. The human looked at the screen. He did not know the ships, but he recognized danger when he saw it. Celira noticed his reaction. You are not required to face this, she said. You are still a guest. The human's jaw tightened. That's not how humans work, he said. The matriarch looked at him sharply. What do you mean? He met her gaze. You offered me family, he said. Family doesn't stand aside when danger comes. Silence filled the hall again. Celira felt something change inside her. Not duty. Not tradition. Something deeper. Outside, the sky darkened as enemy ships moved closer. Inside, a single human made a choice, not yet spoken, but already forming. And the galaxy moved one step closer to understanding why humans were never just visitors among the stars. The warning lights spread across the great hall like fire. Red symbols flashed on every screen. The calm beauty of the alien city was replaced by sharp alarms and fast-moving guards. Outside, the sky darkened as enemy ships formed lines above the planet. The human did not move. He watched the screens closely, studying the ships. Their design was aggressive. Heavy armor. Long weapons built for breaking defenses. These are not traitors, he said quietly. The matriarch stepped down from her seat. Her face was calm, but her eyes were cold. They are the Carven, she said. They test weakness. They take what they want. The human nodded once. Celira stood beside him now. She did not touch him, but her presence was steady. You may leave, she said. No debt binds you to this fight. The human looked at her. I was never bound by debt, he replied. I stayed because it was right. The first explosion shook the air. Far above, the planetary shield flared as enemy fire struck it. The sound echoed through the city like thunder. Elders began to argue. Some called for surrender. Others demanded immediate attack. The matriarch raised her hand. Prepare our defenses, she commanded. We will not bend. The human stepped forward. You have strong shields, he said. But they are built to endure, not adapt. The elders turned toward him. Celira looked surprised. You understand our systems? I understand patterns, the human replied. Humans fight enemies stronger than them all the time. The matriarch studied him. Speak, she said. In a smaller control room, the human stood before glowing displays. Alien engineers watched him closely. They will focus fire on one shield point, he said, pointing to a section above the city. They always do. An engineer frowned. That area is reinforced. That's why they will attack it, the human said. Break the strong point, and fear spreads. He paused. You need to stop thinking like defenders, he added. Think like survivors. The matriarch nodded slowly. Do what he says. Enemy ships moved closer. The first shield layer failed. The city trembled. Celira grabbed the edge of the console. They're breaking through. Not yet, the human said. He rerouted power from non-essential systems. Lights dimmed across the city. Transport lanes shut down. The elders protested. We are blinding ourselves. No, the human said firmly. We are sharpening one blade. The shield flared again, stronger, tighter, focused. Enemy fire struck, and scattered. The Carven ships pulled back in confusion. But confusion did not last. They adapted. A second wave moved in, faster and closer. They're sending ground forces, an officer shouted. The matriarch's jaw tightened. Selira turned to the human. You should go to safety. The human checked a small device on his wrist. There is no safety if they land, he said. I can help here too. He reached for a basic combat vest. Not advanced. Not alien-made. Just human. Selira watched him carefully. You are fragile, she said. Your body is weaker than ours. The human smiled faintly. Then they will underestimate me. The first enemy soldiers landed outside the city walls. They were large. Armored. Confident. The human moved with the alien defense units. He stayed behind cover. He watched. He waited. When the enemy advanced, he acted. He did not rush. He used timing. He disabled sensors. He redirected fire. He pulled wounded soldiers back to safety. Aliens watched in shock. This human did not fight with rage. He fought with focus. Selira followed him across the battlefield. At one point, enemy fire struck too close. The human was thrown back. Selira rushed to him. He struggled to stand, blood on his face. I'm fine, he said. Still breathing. She helped him up without hesitation. In that moment, something changed. Not because of tradition. Not because of debt. But because he stood when fear tried to push him down. The battle lasted hours. Finally, the enemy ships retreated. The sky cleared. Silence returned. The city stood. The matriarch looked over the damaged city, and the humans standing among her people. Today, they had seen something new. A human did not rule. A human did not demand. A human stood beside them. Selira looked at him as the sun rose over the towers. This will change everything, she said quietly. The human nodded. That's usually how it starts. And far away, the Carven leaders began to ask a dangerous question. What happens when humans choose to stay? The city was quiet after the battle. Smoke rose slowly from damaged towers. Broken machines lay scattered across the ground. The sky was clear again, but the peace felt fragile, like glass that could crack at any moment. The human stood near a high balcony, looking out over the city. His body ached. Every movement reminded him that he was not built like the aliens around him. His hands were shaking slightly, though he did his best to hide it. Selira noticed. You should be resting, she said. He nodded. I will. Soon. Below them, alien workers moved together, repairing walls and restoring power. They worked without fear, without panic. They trusted that the danger had passed. Because of him. The thought made the human uncomfortable. I didn't do this alone, he said. Selira looked at him carefully. You did something none of us expected, she replied. You stayed. Inside the council chamber, the elders argued again. This human has changed the balance, one said. Other species will react. They already are, another replied. Messages are coming from across the system. The matriarch listened in silence. Finally, she spoke. He saved my life, she said. He defended our world. He asked for nothing. She turned her gaze toward the great window, where the human stood in the distance. He is no longer a guest. The elders grew quiet. The human was summoned. As he entered the chamber, the elders studied him closely. Not with fear. Not with anger. With caution. You have drawn attention, one elder said. The human shrugged slightly. That tends to happen. Another elder leaned forward. Species will test us now. Because of you. The human met his gaze. They would have tested you anyway, he said calmly. Bullies always do. That answer surprised them. The matriarch nodded. He speaks with human clarity, she said. Simple. Honest. Later, Selira found the human alone again. She walked beside him without speaking for a while. You could still leave, she said softly. No one would stop you. He stopped walking. I thought about that, he admitted. For a moment. She waited. But then I remembered your mother on that broken ship. he continued. Alone. Hurt. Waiting for help that never came. Celira's voice was quiet. And I couldn't walk away again, he said. She felt something tighten in her chest. That night, the matriarch called for a private meeting. Only 3 were present, the matriarch, Celira, and the human. This galaxy does not forgive change easily, the matriarch said. Your presence will bring danger. I know, the human replied. She studied him closely. You are willing to face that? He thought carefully before answering. I don't believe in running from problems I helped create, he said. The matriarch smiled slightly. Then you understand leadership, she said. Celira stepped forward. Our customs are strong, she said. But they are not chains. She looked at the human. If you stay, it will not be because of debt. It will be because of choice. The human met her eyes. That's the only way I'd accept, he said. Silence filled the room. The matriarch raised her hand. Then hear my decision, she said. Her voice was steady and powerful. The life debt is fulfilled. The human blinked. What? He asked. I will not bind you by ancient law, she continued. The debt is paid through honor, not obligation. Celira turned sharply. Mother! I choose trust over tradition, the matriarch said. The room went still. Outside the system, messages spread. A human had defended an alien world. A matriarch had broken tradition. Species watched closely. Some felt fear. Others felt hope. The Carven did not forget. Their leaders gathered in shadow. A single human disrupted our plans, one said. Another growled. Then we will learn what humans fear. Celira stood beside the human as stars filled the sky. You are free now, she said. He smiled gently. Freedom doesn't always mean leaving, he replied. She looked at him, truly looked at him, not as an offer or symbol, but as a person. Then she nodded. Then stay, she said, and face what comes with us. Far above them, ships moved in silence. The galaxy was adjusting. And somewhere in that vast darkness, danger was already moving closer. The peace did not last long. Only 3 days passed before the warning came. Long-range sensors detected movement beyond the system's edge. Not traders. Not explorers. A fleet, large, organized, and quiet. The humans stood beside Celira in the observation tower when the report arrived. They're not hiding, he said after studying the data. They want to be seen. Celira's jaw tightened. The Carven. Yes, the matriarch replied from behind them. And others are watching how we respond. Across the stars, eyes were turning toward this world. Some waited for weakness. Others waited for proof. The council gathered again. Fear filled the room, but it was controlled fear now. The elders had seen what a human could do when standing with them. They will demand the human, one elder said. They will say he caused this, another replied. And if we give him up, we show the galaxy we break under pressure. The matriarch raised her hand. We will not trade lives to buy silence, she said. The human stepped forward. If they want me, he said calmly, let them say it directly. Celira turned sharply. No. He looked at her. This started because I stayed. If I leave now, they will learn the wrong lesson. She shook her head. You are not a symbol to be handed over. He smiled slightly. That's exactly why I must stand. A message arrived soon after. The Carven fleet opened communication. Their leader appeared on the main screen, tall, armored, with cold eyes. You shelter a disruptor, the Carven said. Hand over the human, and this world will be spared. Silence filled the chamber. The matriarch stepped forward. The human is under our protection, she said. Your demand is denied. The Carven leader laughed. You choose extinction over tradition? The human leaned closer to the screen. You attacked first, he said. Now you're afraid of what happens if humans are not alone. The Carven's eyes narrowed. This ends today, the alien hissed. One way or another. The screen went dark. Sailira followed the human as he left the chamber. You are putting yourself in danger, she said. He stopped and faced her. I know, he replied. But danger came here long before I did. She searched his face. If this ends badly. It won't, he said gently. Not because I'm strong, but because we're ready. She felt something settle inside her then. Not fear. Not doubt. Trust. Preparations began immediately. Defense systems activated. Evacuation routes opened. Medical teams stood ready. The human worked beside engineers again. He shared ideas, not orders. He listened as much as he spoke. One young alien officer watched him closely. Why do you help? The officer asked. You could still escape. The human answered without looking up. Because running teaches the wrong people the wrong lesson. The Carven fleet entered orbit. This time, they did not test shields. They sent a single ship forward. A challenge. Sailira stood beside the human on the command platform. They want a response, she said. The human nodded. Then we give them one. A small human craft launched from the city. Unarmed. Alone. Gasps filled the control room. Sailira grabbed his arm. What are you doing? He met her eyes. Showing them what humans really do. The human ship stopped between the planet and the enemy fleet. He opened a direct channel. I'm the human you want, he said. I'm not hiding. The Carven leader appeared again. You offer yourself? The alien asked. No, the human replied. I offer a warning. The alien laughed. The human continued calmly. You attack this world again, and humans will hear about it. Not just one of us. All of us. The Carven paused. You are alone, the alien said. The human smiled faintly. No, he said. I'm just the first. Behind him, something unexpected happened. Signals appeared on the screen. Human ships. Civilian. Trade. Exploration. They had been watching. Listening. They did not ask permission. They came. The Carven fleet hesitated. For the first time, uncertainty spread through their ranks. Sailira watched in silence, her heart pounding. The human returned to the city soon after. When he stepped out of the ship, Sailira moved toward him without thinking. You didn't have to do that, she said. He looked at the sky, full of arriving lights. Yes, he said quietly. I did. Because this time, the galaxy needed to learn what happened when humans chose to stand together. The sky above the alien world was filled with light. Human ships hovered in quiet lines, not in attack formation, but in calm presence. They did not fire. They did not threaten. They simply stayed. The Carven fleet pulled back slowly. No victory signal was sent. No cheers echoed. But everyone watching understood what had happened. The galaxy had shifted. Inside the council hall, the matriarch stood tall. Her age showed in her eyes, but her voice was strong. The threat has ended, she said. Not because of weapons, but because of unity. The elders nodded in silence. Many of them had doubted the human. Many had feared change. Now, none spoke against him. The human stood near the doorway, quiet as always. He did not smile. He did not bow. He only waited. Sailira walked to him slowly. For the first time since they met, there was no danger around them. No alarms. No fear pressing at their backs. You could leave now, she said softly. Your people have come. He looked at the human ships outside. Yes, he said. I could. She waited. But I won't, he added. She looked up at him, searching his face. Why? She asked. He answered simply. Because this world matters now, he said. And so do you. Sailira felt her breath catch. The matriarch approached them both. Long ago, she said. Our laws were written to protect us from chaos. But laws cannot see the heart. She placed her hand over her chest. This human did not act from duty, she continued. He acted from compassion. She turned to the elders. I name him kin of our house. A deep sound filled the hall. Approval. Recognition. Honor. The human looked uncomfortable. I don't need titles, he said. The matriarch smiled. That is why you deserve them. That evening, the city lights glowed softly. Repairs were finished. Life returned to normal, but something was different now. Aliens looked at the human not as a stranger, but as one of their own. Children followed him with curious eyes. Warriors nodded with respect. Selira walked beside him through the quiet streets. You changed my people, she said. He shook his head. They were already strong. She stopped walking. You changed me, she said. He turned toward her. I didn't mean to, he replied. She smiled gently. That's how the strongest changes happen. Beyond the system, the story spread. Not as a battle. Not as a conquest. But as a warning. Humans did not rule through fear. They did not demand obedience. They showed up. They stayed. They stood together. Other species began to ask questions. What if kindness was strength? What if empathy was power? The galaxy did not like those questions. But it could not ignore them. On a quiet balcony, Selira and the human watched the stars. My mother once offered you a bond through tradition, Selira said. Now she offers you something else. He looked at her. A choice, she said. He took a long breath. I choose to stay, he said. Not because I was saved here, but because I belong. She reached out and took his hand. No ceremony. No crowd. Just two beings choosing the same future. Far away, the Carven leaders gathered again. This changes everything, one said. Another growled. It began with one human. A third replied quietly. No. It began when one human stopped to help. They fell silent. For the first time, fear was not aimed at a weapon, but at an idea. As the human ships slowly departed, leaving a few behind in peace, the matriarch watched from the highest tower. She spoke words meant for history. Remember this, she said. The galaxy did not fall to humans because they were powerful. She turned her gaze to the city below, where a human walked freely among her people. It changed because humans cared. And among the stars, that truth spread faster than any fleet ever could.